nuggets, headlines and fun, true crime tales and a wild rerun. Bits of news to brighten your day in the latest, wackiest, petty expressway. Scandals, gators, space coast too, crimes that baffle and headlights askew. When the world gets dark, we bring the cheer, newsy nuggets, the good, the grim, the weird is here.
Hi, you guys. Welcome to Mo. Well, welcome to me. I'm Mo, and this is Mo in the Deep End. And, well, move over R. Kelly, slide over P. Diddy, because more Hollywood shenanigans, more, grossness from Hollyweird. I guess so. Fat Joe has been sued for $20 million by former hypeman in explosive complaint alleges that, rapper engaged in acts with young ones, you two, and coerced him into more than 4,000 acts to maintain his standing. What in the name of all that is Cheetos, Fritos, and, Lay's potato chips? Fat Joe's former hype man, Terrance T.A. Dixon, has filed an explosive lawsuit in federal court against the rapper on Thursday. Now, Dixon is alleging that his former boss, whose real name is Joseph Antonia Cartagena, was engaged in coercive labor exploitation, financial fraud, sexual manipulation, violent intimidation, and psychological coercion. Dixon adds that the hip hop star behind such chart toppers as What's Love? Again, is that the. I don't know, y'all. Like I said, I stopped the, music train at about Alanis Morissette, Tori Amos, and throw in some Phil Collins, REO Speedwagon, and I kind of stopped, parked my music, bus there. So as for the new tunes, I don't know. Now, he apparently says, he got rich and famous while his associates were deliberately suppressed, silenced, and erased due to Dixon's substantial creative, artistic, and commercial contributions, which were foundational to Joe's professional success and personal brand. He's seeking $20 million in damages. Now, the complaint was filed in U.S. District Court, Southern District of New York, and contains many disturbing claims about Fat Joe's alleged relations with women, including underage women, and contains trigger warnings on the first page of a 157-page document. I might see if we can get into that. Again, I don't know these people, so I don't know how into this I'm going to get, but if I can dig up the paperwork, we might be able to see what kind of grossness, and if it needs a trigger warning, well, hello. Now, for 16 years, Dixon served as Fat Joe's so-called hype man, a common figure in hip-hop who supports the artist by energizing the crowd and enhancing the overall performance. He also contributed as a lyricist and background vocalist on such hits as Congratulation, Ice Cream, Money Over Bitches, the free bird of our generation. Now, according to the complaint, he had an unrivaled vantage point to observe the rapper's offstage lifestyle and behavior. Dixon is represented by Tyrone Blackburn, who is also lead counsel in a high-profile case against Sean Diddy Combs. In February 2024, Blackburn filed a lawsuit on behalf of Diddy accuser Little Ronnie, alleging SA harassment and failure to pay. Now, 1 month later, Department of Homeland Security agents conducted raids at Combs's mansions in Los Angeles and Miami. So this might be an offshoot of Diddy stuff. Diddy is getting everyone in trouble. See, don't stand next to Diddy because maybe he did it, maybe he didn't, but you might get some Diddy all over you. Choose better, friends. Dixon stated in a complaint that Fat Joe forced him into humiliating situations, including acts of a sexual nature performed under duress and surveillance, accompanied by threats of abandonment in foreign countries if he refused to accept these, freak off lights, I guess. In his own estimation, Dixon states in the suit he was coerced into more than 4,000 sexual acts to maintain his standing within the enterprise. Now, shockingly, the suit claims that Dixon, quote, personally witnessed Fat Joe engage in relations with children who were 15 and 16 years old, and lists three such Jane Does, including a 16-year-old Dominican girl in New York, who, in exchange for cash, clothing, and payment of her cell phone bill, would do different things for the rapper. Minor Doe 2 is a Caucasian female, not a United States citizen, and he had relations with her when she was just 15 years old after a concert overseas. Now, the defendant allegedly flew minor Jane Doe 2 to New York City and Miami, Florida on multiple occasions. Now, due to minor Doe's, body being not fully formed, he gave her a Brazilian butt lift, allegedly. And she allegedly, left the defendant and is now married to a pro athlete. The minor Doe number 3 is a Latina female who met the defendant when she was 15 years old, now turning 16. Now, according to Dixon, the defendant was in love with minor Jane Doe 3 and even contemplated leaving his wife. Defendant paid all of her bills and even took her overseas on his tour stops. He brought her to Florida and would put her up in a condo that he rented a few blocks away from his wife. And in a recorded conversation, minor, number 3 and her 15-year-old cousin describe in detail how, the plaintiff was inappropriate, who was in his, late 30s and shouldn't be, messing with children. Now, the defendant in the suit also include Pistol Pete Torres and Richard Rich Player Jospire, whom the complainant refers to as key associates in Fat Joe's criminal enterprise, asserting civil claims for violation of Trafficking Victim Protection Act, Racketeer Influence Corrupt Organization Act, known as Civil RICO, as well as related violations under both New York and Florida law, including unjust enrichment, quantum merit, fraudulent concealment, fraud, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and money laundering. So we might be on the lookout for the feds to do something here too. If this is just the tip of the iceberg, if Diddy is just maybe the blueprint of how a lot of these rap mogul people are actually operating within the music industry, Hollywood at large. This might be a tumbling block and we might see more. I don't know. I know I have a video that I need to do about Tyler Perry too. So is Hollywood, crumbling? Are more people coming out of the woodwork? Or is this people sensing, they can get a little money out? I guess we won't know until, it actually goes to court. Now, according to the lawsuit, the defendants engaged in deliberate tax fraud schemes in an effort to conceal their extensive wage theft, artificially inflate Dixon's tax liability, expose him to unwarranted tax audits, penalties, and systematically obscure the exploited labor. Now, the complaint cites a whistleblower accountant who came forward last year, as well as recorded phone calls that help paint a picture of the alleged misdeeds. So this does look like it has more receipts, but again, everyone's alleged until you're in court and then evidence actually sort of counts. I mean, it will be in, but they have to have all the meetings, all the limine, and figure out what's going to be allowed, what's prejudicial, what's probative. Now, the move comes after Fat Joe sued Dixon in April for slandering him on social media by claiming that the Bronx-born rapper enjoys a high level of political connections and flew a 16-year-old girl across state lines for grossness. Now, the suit also named Dixon's lawyer, Tyrone Blackburn, claiming that they were trying to shake, Fat Joe down for a settlement. This is the right way to fight Joe through the system. You can't fight him no other way, Dixon told Variety in an exclusive interview. Joe thinks he's God. He thinks he's untouchable. Now, Dixon's suit against Fat Joe goes much further than his social media post and states that he endured a wide spectrum of sexual coercion, psychological control, forced exhibitionism, surveillance based humiliation, and included being compelled to perform acts of a personal nature under observation, being filmed or directed by Fat Joe in the presence of others, tactics designed to control his body, erode his autonomy, and assure his silence. Now, those abuses were not private, incidental, or isolated. They were integral to the enterprise's cultural kind of stance of domination, humiliation, and coercive control, is what's being alleged. Now enforced by the defendant's associates such as Pistol Pete, JB, and others, and sustained across numerous tours, including those to Miami, North Carolina, Germany, Spain, and Wisconsin. Now, Fat Joe is represented by celebrity criminal attorney Joe Tacopina, who defended everyone from A$AP Rocky to Donald Trump, and they have reached out for a, comment. In Thursday's complaint, Dixon claims that the activity took place on Market America's corporate yacht and at mansion properties where Fat Joe orchestrated repeated orgies involving the plaintiff, female dancers, and underage people. Now, the lawsuit added that Fat Joe used his status as a hip hop star to compel Dixon and others into degrading performances, often while Fat Joe watched, recorded, and directed others. Again, this is looking like if this is a model network, if this is, someone saw Diddy do it, and this is how they think they should run theirs, we might see more of this pop up. Again, I'm not big into hip hop. I don't know how businesses align themselves. I am just trying to get into more pop culture, so I will try to educate myself a bit more, but again, not my genre. But I do foresee this possibly being a new slew of kind of the hashtag Me Too. Again, Fat Joe is, innocent until proven guilty. This is a civil case. There have not been any, federal charges or, state charges yet. So all of these are allegations. Just want to make that clear. Now, again, just bringing up, now the suit claims that Fat Joe also issued veiled death threats and witness intimidation via direct messages such as, "You love your family, right? Fall back in 48 hours and we let you live." Now, though Fat Joe hobnobbed with some of the biggest names in politics, including Kamala Harris, there was at least one brush with scandal back in 2010 when he and his entourage were detained and questioned after a University of Wisconsin student reportedly alleged SA following a performance at the city's Orpheum Theater. Now, at that time, Fat Joe's attorney called the woman a pretender groupie who was attempting to shake down the rapper for money. So again, I would look more to see several more of these cases. Again, if there is money or there is justice to be gained, if these are things that are going on, we need to root this out. This is obviously gross behavior. If all the allegations are true, I will try to get the paperwork and we might go through it. I know that there is Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively's stuff. I am going to be doing more pop culture stuff. I hope you enjoy it, where it intersects with the law and things like that. If there are some cases, pop culture, you would like me to cover, put them in the comments below. Please do all the YouTube-y things, and I will see you on, well, wherever I am. Check out Legal Shenanigans Theater if you need a laugh. We will be doing that tomorrow. I just need to figure out what I'm doing, of course, and all the things. I will see you. Remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but have a sassy mouth and carry a can of bitch fire, because no one puts me in the corner, not even Fat Joe. Bye, you guys.